Well, here we are. Again. I love me my superhero movies, I do. I truly, truly do. But I haven't seen all of them, so I made a list. List of all the superhero movies from the last 20 years that I haven't seen. About 24 movies on that list. We're a quarter of the way through that list, and every single one has been bad. And that does not bring me joy. That makes me unhappy. And I don't like being unhappy. I would like to see a good movie. Or at least one that's fine. Is there one? Are any of the movies on my list any good at all? Will I ever be happy again? Who can show me a good superhero time? A superhero good time? A good time with superheroes? This looks like a job for Superman! He returns! Where'd he go? I don't know. I'm sure that's explained in the movie. I mean, this was 2006, and the last Superman 4, Quest for Peace, was, I think, 87. So, it'd been a while. Maybe it's a meta Superman. Superman Returns! 2 movies! Whee! There'd been a few animated films. I don't remember the marketing for this. I don't remember why I didn't go see this. I don't remember if, like, the marketing made it look bad. I like have no memory. I blocked this one out again. Maybe I saw it and I blocked it out. I have no idea. While Lex Luthor plots to destroy him once and for all, the Man of Steel returns after a long absence. Oh, so he is returning from a vacation, I guess. Well, he was probably helping out people on another world. Superman does that sometimes. Returns after a long absence to a much changed world. Lois Lane has moved on with her life, and society has learned to survive without him. Is she, like, married and has a kid, and it's, like, secretly Superman's kid? And there's going to be a scene where her baby, it, like, lifts up a piano or something. Oh my god, that's really Superman's kid. You lied to me. I don't know. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Well, I really hope Superman Returns is at least good-ish. Because it's over 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours is a long time to suck. So, I know that sounds dirty. Hopefully Superman Returns does not suck. But, what's the opposite of suck? Blows. No, that's the same thing. I hope it's good. I really do. Maybe we'll finally have a video where I spend half an hour praising a movie. You know, unabashedly loving it. I would like that. Will Superman Returns be that movie? I'll let you know in 3 seconds. Is it good? No. Is it bad? I'm really trying to be charitable here. I'm like, can I at least call it meh? Could I confidently and proudly proclaim Superman Returns bad +1, bad plus plus, if you will. I'm not sure what I think about this movie. I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't despise it or anything. It's definitely not a good movie. But is it bad? Not sure yet. Come on this journey of discovery with me, won't you? What time is it? It's 1:15 in the morning. Long movie. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Did not need to be that long. Very simple story. Really did not need to be 2.5 hours. Probably wouldn't mind so much if it were a better movie. Hey, did you see The Force Awakens? I saw The Force Awakens. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was disappointed that the movie seemed to be held back. It was like stuck in the shadow of itself. You know, stuck in its own shadow. It was held back by, you know, it was trying so hard to be Star Wars. Like they were, oh no, this isn't the prequel trilogy. This is the original trilogy, just like you know and love. That's why we brought all your favorite characters back, and you know, we've got new characters, but we've got the old ones here, and the plot is kind of the same. There's another Death Star, but it's a Death Planet this time. Instead of like a moon-sized thing, it's a planet-sized thing. Same thing. Instead of the Empire, we got the First Order. You know, I mean, it's like we're just. It was still fun. I still enjoyed it, but it was retreading a lot of. It was just instead of making a new Star Wars movie, they tried to make a Star Wars again. Instead of making a new Star Wars, they just made the old Star Wars. But I liked it because it had new characters in it, and I liked the new characters. I liked, you know, Poe and Finn and Rey. They're fun new characters. Han and Chewie are there, and so's Leia, and Luke shows up at the very end, and you know, it's nice to see them. But I really enjoyed following these new cool characters through adventures that were very reminiscent of the old ones. Superman Returns really, really wants to be the 1978 Superman. But with all the same characters. You don't have any new characters. So imagine if The Force Awakens was just Leia and Han and Luke battling the not Empire before they destroy people with the not Death Star. I don't think the movie would have been as fun. I think it would have been pretty disappointing. So it goes with Superman Returns. It really does feel like it's in the same universe as the 78 version, so kudos on that. It's, even though it's using modern technology like, you know, computers and flip phones, you know, it's 2006. It still kind of has that golly gee whiz aw shucks aesthetic and tone of the 78 one. This is definitely the Gene Hackman version of Lex Luthor. Brandon Routh, not sure. Don't think I've ever heard anyone say his name. Is doing a very good approximation of Christopher Reeve. Has same basic facial features, same basic build. He's got the mannerisms and posing down pat, and he's got Christopher Reeve's walk. It's great. Doesn't sound a thing like him, but visually they nailed it. So yeah, good job there. So Parker Posey plays not Miss Tessmacher. I think that was her name. Tessmacher, is that right? You know, Lex Luthor's henchwoman. This is Kitty. But it's really just the Miss Tessmacher character. I don't know why that. Maybe I'm forgetting, because I don't think Miss Tessmacher's in Superman 3 or... Well, I mean, 3 is not Lex Luthor. That's Richard Pryor and some other guy, and I can't remember. And then 4, Gene Hackman comes back as Lex Luthor, but it's John Cryer. I don't think Miss Tessmacher's in the 3rd or 4th one. Did she die in the 2nd? I don't think she died. What happened to Miss Tessmacher? Maybe there's a canonical reason why this couldn't be Miss Tessmacher, but same character. And she's a lot of fun. I like the character. Parker Posey does great. Until the movie is like, I have no idea what to do with this character now. Because once Lex Luthor reveals his plan, we'll get there. Kitty has nothing to do for the rest of the movie except stand there and look shocked or on the verge of tears, because she's like, wait, this plan is going to get billions of people killed? Oh no, I didn't sign up for this. We're bad guys. And she doesn't do anything, really. She just kind of stands there for the last hour of the film. It's really weird. Movie had no idea. Kill her off or something, because she's just standing there. It's uncomfortable and weird. So, what's the big Lex Luthor plan? I'm so glad you asked. Let's compare it to the first movie, which, God, I have not seen the Christopher Reeves movies in 30-some years. So let me try to remember. If I'm remembering correctly, Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, buys up a bunch of desert land, cheap desert land in like Arizona and Nevada, and he steals some nuclear missiles from the military or something, and he's going to blow up the San Andreas Fault, drop the western coast into the ocean, so now all the cheap desert he bought is beachfront property and he can sell it at a premium. It's a real estate scam. Very comic booky. Fun idea. What's his big plan in this one? Well, he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, which Superman just left the door unlocked, I guess, and steals the crystals, which he finds out he can grow a new continent. You know how Superman chucks the crystal and grows the whole Fortress of Solitude out in Antarctica? Well, he's like, alright, I'll just throw that damn thing in the ocean and just create my own continent. And I will sell... I own a new continent, and I will sell property there. And I was watching this and going, so... Okay, that's... not exactly the same thing, but that... And I was saying, I'm debating myself, is this just ripping off the first one, or is this just kind of what Lex do kind of thing? This is just Lex crime. That's how Lex is. This is where his mind goes. He's like, I'm going to grow my own continent, and people will want to live there on this big, rocky, desolate landmass where there are no animals, no dirt, no trees. You can't grow anything there. But nice view, I guess. And Lois actually points this out. She's like, question. Lois, go. Yeah, Lois Lane, Daily Bugle. No, not Daily Bugle. That's Spider-Man. What the hell's Superman's... there's a globe on top of the building. Daily Planet. There you go. Thank you, viewers. I'm sure you were screaming at me. I heard you totally. She's like, question. Why would anyone want to live there? And he says, oh, because America's going to be underwater. They'll have to. So you're dropping a big chunk of America under the water so that they have to buy your beachfront. This is the same exact plan. Same thing. And what's her name? Lois says, question. Lois, go. Won't millions of people die? And he goes, billions. No. Unless I'm not thinking of something, it would be millions. A couple 100 million, yes, but just millions. It's not going to be billions. I mean, you can drown the entire North American continent, and that's not a billion people. There's right now in 2022. There's like just short of 8 billion. I don't know what it was. Probably only 7 billion or something in 2006, but I don't know what the population of the United States right now. It's like 350 million. In 2006, it was probably somewhere around 300 million. Even if you drowned everyone in the continental United States, that's only 300 some million people. I don't know where you're getting billions. Not that it really matters. It was just kind of something I was wondering. But that's his plan. He's it's a real estate scam again. He's dropping a big chunk of the U.S. underwater, and so people have to live in Lexland. All right, sure. But he has a thought, you see. So he steals some kryptonite, and he takes the little crystal thing that grows a continent, and he sticks some kryptonite on it and chucks it in the water, so he makes a kryptonite continent. So Superman can't mess with it. Okay. Except Superman just picks it up and chucks it into space, so not that big a deal. Kryptonite's only a problem when it is. He stands on the continent and he's like, Lex, you bad nasty. Oh, I'm feeling faint. And he gets the snot kicked out of him, and Lex stabs him with a kryptonite shiv. And then Lois and friends find him and pull out the shiv, and he goes and flies in front of the sun. He goes, ah. Which I don't recall if at any point in this movie they actually made a point that he's solar powered. That's a thing I know about Superman. But I don't know if the movie established that. I honestly don't remember. It should have, otherwise that would make no sense. But he's like, oh, God, gosh, oh, golly, kryptonite. I got stabbed with kryptonite. I lose all my powers. I can't fly. But just from sheer gumption, he picks up the entire continent and just puts it in space. Then he passes out and falls all the way back to Earth. But he's fine in a day, I guess. He's fine. Oh, okay. Did they have to do anything special for him? No. Was it like, he's solar powered, we need to get him into the No, he just lays in a hospital bed for like a half a day and then he leaves. He's fine. Okay. The kid is his, the Lois's kid is his kid. And I actually took a few minutes to look at the original trailers for this film just to make sure. He throws a piano at the guy. I got the piece of furniture right. I still would have, done a total backpat if he, picked up a couch or something. But no, it's a piano. Wow, pulled that out of my ass. And that's why I went back and watched the trailers. I'm like, was that in the trailers or something? The kid is in the trailers, or he's mentioned at least. But, yeah, that was... Maybe someone mentioned that scene to me at one point, and and I forgot about it, but it's still stuck in my mind. I don't know, but yeah, he doesn't actually pick up a piano. He just pushes a piano really hard and smashes a bad guy with it. This movie's editing is bad. There's some bad editing in this movie. Some really weird choices in a lot of the editing just makes things confusing. A lot of weird scene transitions and inter-scene cutting. There's one where Lex and crew go into a museum. They're going to steal the kryptonite, which you find out in a minute. And then it cuts to a car plowing through a building window. And I was like, did that car just come out of the museum? What was it doing in there? No, it's just Miss Testmark. I'm sorry, Kitty, causing a distraction. So Superman will save her while they rob the museum. Cool idea, sure. Just kind of confusing editing, because I was like, whoa, wait, what? There's another bit that was actually really funny. There's a sequence where a plane is crashing, and Superman grabs the plane and lowers it to the ground. And Lois lands on the plane, and she's so there's big airliners. So he lands it in a baseball field, the baseball diamond, and so she's standing at the door, and he flies off, and she, and just faints and pitches forward. I'm like, oh Jesus, she just fell to her death. Oh my God, Lois Lane just died. No, they actually had that little yellow inflatable slide, which when was that put there? If that was established, I missed it. It's a really funny shot because she just falls out of frame and then goes sliding face first down the slide. Pretty funny, but at first I was like, "Oh Jesus, she just died. she just fell like 40 feet to her death." There's a wonderful where the plane is all flopping around in the sky. Lois is the only one who's not buckled, and she just gets pinballed all over the inside of the cabin. It's really funny. That whole sequence is, the editing is a little confusing. You're like, you understand what's going on. It's actually a pretty well thought out and choreographed action sequence. I like the whole plane sequence. It's very they're like, okay, we've got a new idea for shuttle launches. You know how space shuttles like use all this damn fuel to get their heavy asses up off the ground and into space? What if we put the shuttle on the back of a commercial airline? Well, a really one of those big Boeing 707, whatever the really big ones, not like the American Airlines or Southwest Airline thing that I take, or in the before times. The really big ones. We're going to strap a shuttle to the back of one of those, fly it up real high to give it kind of a head start. There's a lot of reasons I'm pretty sure that would not work. I haven't run the numbers, but I'm pretty sure that would not work. For a multitude of reasons. None of which matter because it's a comic book. I don't care. That's totally fine. I think it's a fun idea. The apartment is settling, I guess. You're hearing that, right? It's a ghost. So that's a fun action sequence. Some examples of some of the weird editing. Lex and Kitty get stranded on an island at the end of the movie, and the camera pulls back to reveal they're on an island. But it cuts early. You expect it to pull back to see that they're not just on an island, but they're on an island in the middle of nowhere. No, they pull back just enough. It's like, island, got it? Okay, next scene. And you're like, oh. Okay. There's a lot of scenes that just cut, and you're like, oh, wait, where are we? I guess that scene's over. A lot of weird editing. One editing choice that I thought was really weird that actually served to undercut the tension of the scene. There's actually a pretty good scene where Lois and her kid are on the boat, and the guard, and they're like, hey, guard guy, watch Lois and the kid. And he goes, he like leans on a he does more like this, but I'd be off camera. So he's like, and then they go to another scene, and it cuts back to the scene later, and he's like, just staring at them the entire time. It's so funny. I think that's supposed to be funny, and I laughed. I thought it was funny. But Lois has a fun idea. This is a really cool idea. Lois is like, okay, there's a piano, because it's a big fancy boat, so there's a piano over there. And she's like, okay, small child, why don't you go play the piano? Which they did establish earlier. They're in her home, and holy crap, Lois Lane has a humongous home. Metropolis is established to be in New York somewhere. How much could a newspaper reporter even a Pulitzer Prize winning she could not possibly be pulling in enough. I mean, she's married, well, she's not married, but she's living with the son, I think, of Perry White, but he's the editor of the Daily Planet. He doesn't own the Daily Planet, right? Where are they getting this money from? It doesn't matter, just big house. Anyway, they show that the kid has his own little Casio keyboard and he's playing stuff, so that's set up. So good job, movie. So go play the piano, and the kid's plunking heart and soul on the piano, and the big bad guy, the guard, goes and sits next to the kid and plays the accompanying part. The kid's da 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 da. He goes dun 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 dun. Oh, that's cute. Well, while he's distracted, everything's settling. The settling is unsettling. Lois writes coordinates on a piece of paper, signed Lois Lane, and sticks it in what is called a fax machine. Ask your parents. My younger audience, everyone my age knows what a fax machine is, but there's a fax machine, so she's like, doop 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 boop. And the guy's playing the piano with the kid, and he's occasionally, because it's a grand piano, so the lid is half up, and he's looking around the lid, making sure she's behaved. And so it's like, oh, is he going to catch her? It's a pretty cool scene. There's some tension. Oh, is he going to be distracted long enough for her to write the note and put it in the fax machine? Is the fax machine going to make too much noise? Is he going to beat her in the head with a rock or something? Cool idea. Well structured scene. Except it's intercut with a completely different scene, which completely kills the tension. Now, to be fair, it's intercut with a scene that's kind of important. That's very important that you know that it's going on at this time. It's intercut with the scene where they're going to drop the crystal in the water to grow the continent. And it's established in the movie that when you do that, you cause a humongous blackout. And, of course, oh, the fax is sending, oh, blackout, and it stops the fax machine, right? So you kind of have to know that that's going on. I'm not the world's foremost video editor, as you can probably tell from my YouTube presentations, and so I don't know the answer, but I do feel that there would have been a way to intercut those scenes without completely killing the tension of the scene. I don't know how. Better editors than me would have to say, but I'm pretty sure it could be done. The very beginning of the movie was very confusing to me. I haven't been this confused at the first 10 minutes of a movie since, speaking of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Seriously, I had no idea what the hell was going on in the first 10 minutes of that movie. Part of the time I was like, I'm sorry, what am I even looking at? So, Rise of Skywalker, like, if I remember that they do the opening crawl, and I'm like, wait, what? I think it's the first time I was ever confused by the opening crawl, and I don't remember what confused me, but then you have Kylo Ren beating up a bunch of dudes somewhere. I'm like, who are these people? I know that's Kylo Ren, but who are these people? Where are we? What are we doing? He's got the glowy green rock. Okay, what's he need that for? Okay, so he's using it to navigate to somewhere? Where's he going? Why? Okay, so he's at a place. Where is this? Is that a giant pyramid that's floating off the ground with lightning beneath it? Is that what I'm looking at? What am I looking at? Yeah, I was so confused the first 10 minutes of Rise of Skywalker. A genuinely terrible film. Holy biscuits, is that movie bad. Stunningly horrible. Still has a bunch of characters that I like, but goodness, I'm not reviewing the Star Wars movies. I'm reviewing Superman Returns. What was I talking about? Oh, beginning of Superman Returns. Oh man, they really want to be the John Williams. Oh, they used the John Williams music, so point to Superman Returns, because John Williams, man, you use the Superman march, and I'm in, man. You got me. It's the Superman theme. The whole opening title sequence is exactly the same too, with the the Superman fanfare and the neon colored titles that zoom at the screen. The whole thing. It's a little bit more fancy because you're zooming through space instead of just on a space background. But so the movie starts out with a quick title card that says astronauts discovered what they believed were the remains of Krypton. Suddenly, Superman disappeared. Oh, okay. And then we see what I thought was like the Fortress of Solitude over in, because I think there's the Marlon Brando voiceover from the original film saying something. He actually, the Marlon Brando, Marlon Brando is in this archival footage anyway, repeating lines from the first movie, none of which make a damn bit of difference to anything going on. Not at all. Nothing's relevant. Nothing he says matters. Weirdest damn thing. I mean, they just wanted to have Marlon Brando in there because they could. And cool, but it doesn't add anything. Like, none of the lines are really relevant at all. Anyway, so it pulls back, and I think, okay, this is the Fortress of Solitude in Antarctica, but it pulls back and I'm not recognizing the planet. And it's like the dark side of the planet, so I can't really see. I'm like, is that Earth? What am I looking at? And it seems to be on the far side is a sun, I think, but it's a weird glowy red sun. Is this Krypton? Is this planet Krypton and that's a big red sun of Krypton? Is that what I'm looking at? And then the sun gets like sucked into the planet and then the planet explodes. I'm like, wait, are we watching the death of Krypton? Are we flashing back? Are we going to do the Superman or wait, because you just showed me a title card that said, you know, Superman's on Earth, been doing stuff, and he left Earth to go visit what they think was the remains of Krypton. But now I'm seeing Krypton blow up, so did 30 years earlier, is that what we're doing? I'm really not sure. Then we do the title sequence, and zooming through space, and there's this one weird bit where you see this, like, I don't know if they showed, like, the Superman cradle going through space, but they pass one planet and something just slams into the planet. I'm like, oh shit, did Superman's cradle just slam into that asteroid or planet? No, it's just a weird detail. And then it cuts to the Kent farm, and Martha Kent is wandering around the house, and then a big thing crashes into the field. I'm like, why are we doing Superman's origin again? That would be like if in another 10 years we did Iron Man Returns and the first half an hour of the movie was Iron Man being kidnapped by the Ten Rings and forced to build a missile in a cave, but he builds the Mark I armor and escapes. It's like, what do you do? I've already seen this. I saw, you know, it's like, what are you doing? And so Martha Kent, I don't know where Pa Kent is. Is it Jonathan? I think it's Jonathan Kent. She runs out, and adult Superman is there. And he's like, and then he collapses. And it's like, oh, this isn't a flashback? So, what blew up? Did Krypton not blow up the first time? Did it take 30 years? Was Jor-El's math off and Krypton did blow up, but it took 30 years? So the astronauts went, wait, Krypton is there. So Superman went, and he got there just as it actually exploded, and then came home and just crash landed? What? I am seriously unclear on what exactly happened. So the next morning, also it's weird because did he take a spacecraft? I figured he would have just flown, but is Star Labs exist in this movie universe and gave him a spacecraft so that he could fly all the way to, because that technology doesn't seem to be in the universe of this particular movie. Where did he get the spacecraft? Why did he crash? Was it the shockwave of the I don't know. So the next morning he's fine. He buries the rubble in the... Oh, it's weird. Martha walks up to the crash, and then he comes up from behind her and taps her on the shoulder and then falls over. I'm like, so did he get out of the crash and walk towards the house, but then saw her drive past and went, "Oh, there's Mom," and turned around and walked back. Or what? I don't know. Anyway, so the next day he's fine, and he reminisces about them days of yore where he was a kid, and we flash back to him learning how to fly for no discernible reason. I have no idea. There's a couple of like 2 or 3 minute sequence of young Clark jumping real high through the field and then jumping back and then falling through the roof of the barn, and then he floats up there and is like, "Oh my gosh, I can fly." Why is that scene in the movie? Did you think you really needed to establish to the audience that Superman can fly? Did you have test audiences going, how come this guy can fly? When did he learn to do that? Shit, we better have a flashback sequence. So then his dog comes up to him with a baseball, and he's like, "You want to play fetch? You want it?" And he chucks it like 6 miles, and the dog runs a few steps and is like, "Dude, what the hell?" And I'm like, "Right? What are you doing? What if he hit someone in the head? Why did you throw a baseball 16 miles? What? Do you not like the dog? It's a cute dog. I mean, I'm a cat person, but that's a cute dog. Why would you do that, Clark, you asshole? What? Why?" So the basic premise of the movie is Superman buggers off one day because astronauts say, "Hey, I think we saw Krypton, or maybe the remains of Krypton, or maybe actually Krypton." I'm super not sure. And so he's like, "Krypton!" And he leaves without telling anybody. Like Lois, who he has an intimate relationship with. Rude. So she wrote an editorial in the Daily Bugle, not Bugle, Daily Planet, called "The World Doesn't Need Superman," or something like that. And she wins a Pulitzer for an op-ed. Could happen, sure. That's surprising. That a single editorial article won a Pulitzer? Really? I would really be interested in reading this article. Man of Steel returns after a long absence to a much changed world. Nope. No, nothing's changed. Nope. The only one who's not happy to see him is Lois. And understandably so. Understandably so, because, he ditched her. There's a whole thing where Lex, there's a thing about how because Superman buggered off, he wasn't there for the, because Lex was in jail, but apparently while Superman was gone, he appealed. And they called Superman as a witness, but he wasn't there, so Lex got out. Except it's also established that some old lady broke him out of jail, paid for him to be out of jail, because apparently he's been, like, married to or doing sexual favors for an old woman for the last few years so that she'd leave all her money to him, which she does, and her 2 Pomeranians. So, is he out of jail because Superman wasn't around to testify during his appeal hearings? Or because some old woman who has the power for some reason got him out of jail somehow in exchange for sex? The Pomeranians are cute. And there's a really lovely scene where Lex and Kitty come back to the house. They go to the Fortress of Solitude, and then they come back to the house, and one of the Pomeranians is sitting there in there's just scattered pile of fur, and it's gnawing on a bone, and she's like, "Weren't there 2 of them?" Oh my god, one of the Pomeranians ate the other one. I love that. That's great. That's funny. I like that. But yeah, the you think there would be an opportunity for, Superman just leaves the world high and dry, and maybe Lois won a Pulitzer because the world was depressed, and the stock market crashed, and unemployment went up because no one wanted to go to work anymore. They were just so depressed, and no one wanted to do anything. Oh, it's hopeless. Superman's not here, and her one editorial just got people to buck up or something, and yeah, we can do it ourselves or something. And so Superman comes back. I have returned. Ooh, that was pretty good on the R rolls. And no one cares, or like a bunch of people like, we don't need you. And how he deals with this much changed world, that could be really interesting. But that's not what they do in the movie. He comes back and everyone's like, yay, it's Superman. Nothing's changed. It's like he never left. Except for Lois, who gives him the cold shoulder, and again, rightfully so. She's like, yeah, you left me high and dry. And pregnant. So I moved on. And I'm dating Scott Summers now, so nah. And unfortunately, not the actor's fault, but Superman slash Clark is really creepy in this movie. Like, he's constantly staring at her and listening in on her and using his x-ray vision to watch her and hanging around outside her house. And he, like, goes in her kid's room and just stands there and watches them sleep. And I get what they're going for here, but it doesn't work. It's just creepy. Like, you could have done. It's probably just I like the idea of Superman had to go away, had to, not just buggered off because he felt like it. I mean, I get the whole I need to go visit my home to see if there's any chance that anything remains of my home. I get that. That's fine, but you could have said goodbye. Oh, it was too hard. Oh, grow up, dude. I mean, if he said, hey, I'm sorry I was gone for 5 years, but I had to leave immediately because there was this asswipe called Darkseid who was, being real mean to the people of Apocalypse, and I had to go there, like, immediately and sort that shit out, because if I didn't, he'd be coming here next. It was a whole thing. Something! Like, you left us. It's like, dude, I totally had to. I had to leave right then and there. Didn't wanna, but I had to. I got sucked into a boom tube. It happens. It took me 5 years to actually get home, but Apocalypse is gonna be okay. I think. I mean, I dethroned Darkseid, and then the people were like, oh, but he's God, so we're putting him right back on the throne. I'm like, alright, fine. See you when you get here, buddy. Something just like, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. There's there are some very well conceived and mostly well shot action set pieces. I liked the idea of bringing the characters of Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor and not Miss Tessmacher. It's Kitty, but it's the same character. I like that dynamic. They're fun. The bad guy's plan, not an exact copy of the original, but pretty close, but different enough where it's like, I guess this is just Lex thing, and it's big, and it's stupid, and it's comic booky, and that's totally fine. Lex has a goal. He's a very clear character, and you get what he wants and what he's trying to do to get what he wants. The villain arc works. But our main characters are Superman slash Clark is just really creepy, and his behavior's not justified. Doesn't work. Lois is fine, but she doesn't really do much. She's just kind of there. The kid is, he's a kid actor, but he's just kind of there and stares blankly throughout the entire movie. Kind of like Miss Tessmacher is when she's like, oh shoot, we're going to drown the U.S. I don't like this. And then she stands there for the rest of the movie because she has literally nothing to do. I mean, she does dump the rest of Lex's crystals out of the, full spoilers, by the way. So she does have one last act of defiance, but to get there, she just stands there going, hugging her Pomeranian for the last 50 minutes of the movie. I like the fact that, generally speaking, when Superman holds up something really huge, he holds it in a way that it's almost believable that it wouldn't just completely snap in half, or, you know, because he holds up a giant plane, but he holds it completely vertical, and it does kind of tin can in on itself a bit before he sets it down. You know, the Daily Planet globe falls off the building, and he catches it, and he sets it down. When he's got a car under himself, and there's some nice... They're doing some nice things with the physics to kind of get it to work. I mean, there's no way in hell he could lift that entire continent and put it into space, because it would just break around him. But it is kind of falling apart and breaking, so yeah, it's fine. It's a superhero thing. It's fine. But James Marsden, the Richard White, her fiance, not married but lives with them in the huge house. He's a nice guy. Jimmy's a nice guy. Perry's a sexist, kind of shitty boss, but he's Perry. Like, none of the characters are really endearing or interesting, and Clark is just creepy and stalkery, and it's like, move on, buddy. You left. We're done. They have this really awkward thing. He's like, so I guess I'll see you around, and he goes, I'm always around, Lois. You were just gone for 5 years, buddy. Did you forget about that? That's what all this awkward tension is about. Oh, there is a really cool shot where they also do the rooftop flying scene again. Again, they're mirroring so much from the first movie. But there's a really nice shot where he's like, hey, and I need to show you something. Please, come with me. Oh, okay. And she takes off her shoes and stands on his feet. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute. She grabs his arms. And it's a tight two-shot, camera locked on a two-shot as they talk to each other. And it's subtle, but if you're watching, the background is moving because he's lifting up off the ground and she doesn't notice it at first, and it's not that's a really nice shot. So good job. That was well planned. That was well executed. I liked that. This movie's bad. It's a bad movie. As always, there are things in it that I liked. There were a lot of things that I liked. But yeah, the main characters are dull and uninteresting. Superman's a creep. Miss Tessmacher runs out of things to do halfway through the movie. The editing is confusing, and the basic premise of the film has a lot of potential but they do nothing interesting with it. So yeah, I can hear police sirens out there. I hope everything's okay, because it's 2 a.m. God, I've been talking for 45 minutes. Okay, we're done. Superman Returns is bad. Maybe the next one will be good. Hope springs eternal.